trapped inside this spell. Now I feel it, now I feel it. Your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel it.
beach in the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding.
to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, right now. Think the body till we black out. So get the fuck up.
Days passes by, and most long for a place that they never find. I'm afraid I wake up when I die, and it is too late to climb any mountain. Time is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. Don't go to plan, I kinda lose my mind. I hope it's real, this life comes around. Just keep your faith and search for the fountain. Time is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. I will be the greatest that you ever seen before, and I'll stay eternal.
Makes me think there ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind makes me think there ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect.
Welcome back to the We Are City channel, back with the matchday live streams today. I've been away for 2 weeks, so I missed a few games, and we're into matchday 6 already in the Premier League. Of course, we will do as many as the away games as possible. We Are City fan club membership member, whatever you want to call it, Alfie Lively is in the comments. Welcome, Alfie. And Alfie, you have the Premier League trophy still. Get in and every time, every day you get that little bit closer to lifting the Champions League trophy here in the membership channel. Today, City take on Newcastle United away at St James's Park. An early kick-off in the Premier League and a big game for Manchester City after some big things that's happening this week, isn't it? Kevin De Bruyne is missing. No De Bruyne, he is still injured. On to that as well, he's not the only big miss, is it? Because we also found that injured is a big player in Rodri. Rodri, who's been... He is the spine of the team, isn't he, Rodri? Rodri is the main man in that Manchester City side. He's going to be out for the full season, and it's going to be more than that. Rodri has injured not only the ACL, but also his meniscus as well. So that's going to be 9 months out at least for Rodri. And then Pep Guardiola says once Rodri comes back in 9 months, then you have to expect that he'll have lots of muscle injuries. That's just the way it works. That is going to be a big miss at Manchester City. I don't know how things are going to be with Rodri. Is Rodri going to improve? We don't know, do we? It's going to be a big one. It's going to be an absolutely massive one. How things go with Rodri. I'm hoping that we can get through it and that he's going to be okay. That Rodri, when he comes back in 9 months' time, is going to be the player that we expect. But we just don't know, do we? It's such a big injury. We're not exactly sure in the way in which Rodri comes back. Will he ever come back the same player? That is a big worry for Manchester City. That is a big worry for Manchester City. So we'll have to see what happens there. Do things change in that sense? Do City manage to sort that situation out? We'll have to see. But do we go into the January transfer window and do we make a signing? That is another thing that many people suggest might be an option for Manchester City. It's all uncertain, isn't it? We really do not know. As for City's team today away at Newcastle, no Rodri, the big one like we've just said. City go with perhaps, I'd say, this is maybe the most conservative team we've seen all season. Game on field is here as well. Hello to you. So Edison starts in goals for Manchester City. Captain Kyle Walker, who is the official captain for this season, alongside Manu Akanji, Ruben Diaz and Josh Kavada in that back four. I'm surprised Walker started, but I think Pep Guardiola felt he had no choice in terms of how he had to change his midfield. Rico Lewis, Mateo Kovacic and Ilkay Gundogan starting midfield three. Is it Lewis at attacking midfield? Is it Kovacic at attacking midfield? Or is it Gundogan at attacking midfield? Or is it sort of just a flat three? Kovacic in the left of a midfield or in the centre? We've no idea the way things are going with that one. Then a front three of Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland. This is very much Manchester City trying to control a game, not turn it into the sort of game that perhaps a side like Newcastle would want, because Newcastle are a side that want things a certain way, don't they? They do want things to be turned into a basketball game. That is what you could say Newcastle do want, and so City are trying to control that the best they can. Why is Foden not playing Southgate? I don't know. And City's bench is looking quite a bit of trouble, really, City's bench, isn't it? If you look at Manchester City's bench here today, we've got 2 goalkeepers on there. We're missing actually 1 player. We can count to 9 players. And then it's McAtee, who's not really an experienced player at all. We've got Foden, who you trust, Savinho and Docker, I suppose, are game changers. Stones, defensive option. And then Mateus Nunes. And that is it. I mean, defensively, we're lacking in the back line as well. I mean, with Nathan Ake out, we don't know when he's going to be back. Yeah, there is certainly injury issues at Manchester City at the moment, isn't there? There's certainly injury issues that we need to be very, very wary of, because we're not exactly how things are going to work out. So hopefully that can be sorted. I'm just flicking through a thing here. How come the score has disappeared? The City score has disappeared behind everything. I don't know why that is, guys. I'll try and sort that out. Okay, I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake in the graphics. I'm so confused while I'm talking. I'm thinking there's something gone wrong here. Why? Why is it looked like that and then the team looked like that? I now understand why. Let me just solve this for 1 second. Some technical difficulties to start this one. as I just sort it out. The lineup in the background, I've done the opposite way around. It's been a while, actually, two weeks away, so I haven't actually done one of these live streams. I missed the Watford game. I couldn't do the Watford game. I just didn't have the voice for it to do the Watford game, unfortunately. I did plan to do the Watford game, but after that game against Arsenal, there was just nothing there, nothing left in terms of my voice. But I'm back, and we're ready for this one. This is going to be a good game. I have no doubts this is going to be a good game. There we are, nice and sorted for you. Graphics are all sorted, ready for this one. Have you got FC25 selfie lively? I have, Alfie. FC25 has arrived. It came yesterday. It came yesterday in the post, and I haven't really played any of it at all yet. I know that there's going to be an update in the game. They always update FC25 or whichever game comes out EA. They always do an update maybe a week after launch. So we're going to wait a week before then we start recording episodes. Of course, if you're a part of the members club like you are, you will get early access to a new FC25 series coming to the channel. And that will be coming mid-October time, I'd say, towards the end of October. That is when FC25 will be dropping here on the We Are City channel for you guys to enjoy. And I do have still some more votes to do on that. So we'll have to see. I've still got some more polls. We voted on signings, but now with the Rodri injury, is there another signing? Manchester City have to be looking at making, and all sorts of things, isn't there? So there's plenty to try and entertain, really, in terms of FC25 and to think about before we get into that series. I want to get things right so we have a really good series all together. What are your predictions for today's game? Let us know in the comments down below. Do let us know your predictions. I went for a 3-1, but seeing the starting 11, I feel like City aren't going to score many goals today. I just don't think that is a creative City side. I think our most creative player in there is probably Jack Grealish. That could come as a worry to some people if that is the case. Alfie's asking who we'd sign. Well, we have done plenty of votes in the community tab on signings, targets in different areas, different positions. So definitely go and check those out. If you go back in the community tab, you'll see possible options for signs. But I did vote on a backup holding midfielder, I think so, for Rodri. But maybe we need to think of someone else because Rodri's going to be out for the full season. In EFC 25, obviously Rodri won't be injured, but with this new concept they've added, which is live start points, could we start after the Arsenal game where Rodri's got that 9-month injury and then Rodri will be out for the season? Do the injuries update with FC 25? Apparently so, but I checked out career mode, there's nothing quite yet. Or maybe because we're only a few days into launch, EA haven't sorted that yet. Alfie's gone with a 2-1 win for Manchester City. Andrew's gone with a 2-0 win for Manchester City. I don't think we'll get a clean sheet today. Andrew's been very optimistic there with a clean sheet for City. We haven't kept a clean sheet in what feels like a long time. The defence just don't seem to keep those clean sheets. It didn't last season either. We're going to have to change the way we play, without a doubt. The City are going to have to play very differently if they're going to play without Rodri, because they're not going to have the same control in that midfield. They're not going to have the same ability to protect that back line. And, you know, we're not doing well anyway in that situation defensively, and without Rodri, that's surely only going to make things worse. It feels like that's the case anyway. So we'll have to see. But Rodri is obviously the big miss, the big talking point, and that is something that we are worried about as City fans, aren't we? I think it feels like I told you so, if you know what I mean, and I don't want to be that way at all. I don't want to be that way at all. But I think plenty of us said, and when we talked about the season, we've talked about in this channel, we said going into next season, if Rodri gets injured, City are in big trouble. That's what we said. And Rodri got injured. We knew we had to sign someone, and the club didn't. And I don't understand why. Is it something to do with the charges? Is it... There's something there. I don't know why they didn't sign someone. They can't think of anyone that's good enough to back up Rodri. I have no idea. Look at the Newcastle team. You can see they are without one of their star players. No Alexander Isak in the Newcastle side. That is captained by Brazilian Bruno Guimaraes, who could have been the man to come in and play in that City midfield and play as the backup to Rodri. Boy, how City may have thought and may have wished now they triggered that £100 million release clause. Nick Pope starts in goal for Newcastle. It's a back four of Kieran Trippier, former Manchester City player, Fabian Schär, Dan Burn and Lewis Hall. They've got Guimaraes, Joelinton and Tonali in a very athletic, hard-working, aggressive, real quality engine room there in that midfield three. Impressive Newcastle side. It's then Murphy on the right, Barnes on the left, and Anthony Gordon, he plays to the middle today in the absence of course, one of the main players, Alexander Isak, one of the best strikers in the Premier League, is out. Should be less games as Alfie. Well, that is one of the reasons Rodri's injured. I think we could all see it coming that Rodri would get injured. And what we're not surprised, are we? And that Rodri complained about too many games and so on. He said he was playing too many matches. He said that, he can't play 60 games again. That was this year before last. He then played 60 games again last season. And then he came into this season. 10 minutes into his first start, he does his ACL. I mean, to me, that is pretty obvious what's gone on there, isn't it? That is overworked. An overworked footballer, an overplayed player. City have played him week in, week out, no matter what. And that is the situation. All smiles in the Newcastle tunnel here at St James's Park as Edison and Joelinton have a little talk between themselves. Joelinton, a nice aggressive player. You'd love him in your team, but you hate to play against him. Pressure on City today, because if City were to drop points today, I think that would just boost Arsenal massively. They'd see that and say, you know what, City are in trouble now without Rodri. We need a lot of squad depth as Alfie. Yeah, I mean, Pep Guardiola doesn't believe in having more than 20 players in the squad pretty much. He wants, 16, 17 players. He's happy with that. So we're never going to do that under Pep. But maybe it's something Pep needs to think about and think maybe we do need an extra 1 or 2 players in that side because of the amount of games. It's just unbelievable at the moment. How do you guys think Rico Lewis is going to play today? He's playing in midfield, Rico Lewis, alongside Kovacic and Ilkay Gundogan, purely as a midfielder. How do you think he's going to do today? Well, it's St James's Park, a big atmosphere. I think Pep has a lot of trust in the player. He's so small, isn't he, Rico Lewis? But with that afro, it makes him feel a little bit bigger. But he's smaller than Bernardo Silva. He's the smallest player in the City side. He's getting a talking to here by one of the City trainers. A hug between Kieran Trippier and Bernardo Silva there as they walk past each other. So, lunchtime kickoff here at St James's Park. Massive atmosphere. Kyle Walker, City's captain. Bruno Guimaraes, who's got the blonde hair once again, is the Newcastle United captain. And Pep Guardiola has been confirmed that Kyle Walker is City's captain once again this season. But I expect it will be his last season at Manchester City in my eyes. I think he'll be man of the match as Alfie. He just might be man of the match, Rico Lewis. I think last time he started purely in midfield was away at RB Leipzig in the Champions League. And he was absolutely fantastic there. So he's certainly got the quality, Rico Lewis, hasn't he? He's got the game intelligence, he's got the quality. I do worry about 2 things with Rico Lewis. One, which is experience, but that will only come with playing. And the second one is, of course, the physical side of the game. In the air, long balls and so on. Rico's not going to win those. That's not his game. But I'm hoping that he can add, playing in midfield, a more creative side to his game. Maybe he's a more creative player than we first imagined, and he can pick those passes, and they can play those passes into Erling Haaland, maybe get himself a few assists, maybe get himself on the score sheet. He's not really known for scoring goals, but we never know, do we? Well, the Newcastle United side, we'll run through it again at the start of this one. So Nick Pope starts and goal, a back 4 of Lewis Hall, Dan Burn, Fabian Schär and Kieran Trippier. No Sven Botman, who himself is out with an ACL injury. Then in the midfield, they've got Tonali, Captain Guimaraes and Joelinton. A real impressive midfield 3 in my eyes. I think that is absolutely fantastic. And then a front 3, a very fluid looking front 3. 3 wingers. Jacob Murphy, Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes in that front 3 for this Newcastle United side. As for Manchester City, you guys know how we start with. Newcastle got the likes of Alec Murphy, a youngster, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock on the bench. Some really impressive players. In FC25, should do a road to glory with a League 2 side, says Alfie. Possibly, yeah. Maybe not a League 2 side, Alfie. I'd prefer to do it with a foreign side. Maybe a Spanish second division side. Maybe Deportivo La Coruña, who were once the Liga champions. They would be a side I would do that with. Or maybe a Bundesliga side, like a Bundesliga 2 side, like one that I'm pretty close with, which is Kaiserslautern. So they would be the 2 teams. Deportivo La Coruña, Kaiserslautern. If I was going to do any road to glory, it would be either with that team in Spain or that team in Germany. I've already decided if I was to do that, I'd do that. Maybe it's a members-only series as well. Maybe we do that as a member-only series. Only 8 players on City's bench. They could have named 9. They named 8 and 2 goalkeepers as well. So pretty much that narrows it down, doesn't it, on City's bench to 6 players. 1 defender, 2 midfielders, 2 attackers, 3 midfielders, 2 attackers and 1 youth player, I suppose, who hasn't played many games for Manchester City. Sandro Tonali back in that Newcastle side. I think it's his first start since his long suspension. A 1.5-year ban for betting allegations. Suspension for betting in games, unfortunately for him. But he knew what he was doing, so that's what happens when you bet. I think you should do it with Chesterfield because they have two of my favourite Macclesfield players, says Alfie Lively. Ooh, Chesterfield. Okay. Who are your two favourite Macclesfield players? I won't know who they are, to be honest with you. I don't know. I know some of the Championship, and then below that I have no idea. And I know some of the National League because I do go and watch some National League games every now and again. But that in between, sort of League 1, League 2, I have no idea. No idea. City at St James's Park. Pep Guardiola's got his cardigan on, and he's whipped it off straight away. He's too warm. Is that a sign of stress for Pep Guardiola? He hangs it on the back of the seat. James Berry and Kane Drummond, says Alfie Lively. Well, to be honest with you, Alfie, I don't know those players. Although James Berry's name does ring a bit of a bell. But I can't tell you. I do know he is. So, City on the field here with Newcastle United. Gerard Gillett is the referee today. Berry's a joint top goal scorer, Alfie. Well, he sounds like he's a good player if he's scoring goals. At any level, the hardest thing to do, I believe, is to score goals. Put the ball in the back of the net. Ailing Carlin back in that City side after he was given compassionate leave against Watford. Whistle blown by the Australian official. And it's Manchester City versus Newcastle here at St James's Park. Here we go. What sort of game are we in store for today? And it is Barnes off that left and Anthony Gordon through the middle. Sandro Tonali and Guimaraes sitting alongside each other with Joe Linton a bit further in front. Jacob Murphy makes an early running behind Joshua Vardiol. And he's beat Vardiol for physicality here. Murphy across towards Newcastle. A chance here. Rico Lewis with sliding challenge. Guimaraes with a studs up challenge on Rico Lewis. It's going to be a free kick Manchester City's way. A late one by Bruno Guimaraes. Ruben Diaz is asking for a yellow card. Guimaraes comes in, studs up on the foot boot of Rico Lewis. It clears away. A big lively start by Newcastle. Well, a real aggressive tackle by Bruno Guimaraes. That is the sort of player he is. Studs up, down the boot of Rico Lewis as they both went to clear it. Guimaraes went to win it. And a free kick Manchester City. We'll have to see if Rico Lewis is going to be okay. He's back on his feet, so that seems okay. A long ball to Haaland, dealt with by Dan Burn. Joelinton back to Burn. And all the way back to Fabian Schär. Big swinging ball over top by Fabian Schär. And Joshua Vardiol, a bit off the pace again here, as he's beaten to it by Trippier. Trippier off Vardiol. Edison comes in. Akanji. He's taken out by Edison alongside Trippier. But a real big game. Kieran Trippier from fullback, really creating width on that right hand side. Vardiol's got Murphy and Trippier to mark. Trippier gets his head in the way. Vardiol in the end just gets away with it. But a very lively start from Newcastle. Manu Akanji, who's starting the left today. And a late one on Vardiol now by Anthony Gordon sliding in. Foul number 3 by Newcastle in the space of 1 minute and 50 seconds. Sliding challenge on Joshua Vardiol. Free kick City. Another one. So 3 big challenges already. Is it on Sky or BT? It's on TNT, which was BT, I think, Alfie. So free kick Manchester City on this far left-hand side. Vardiol arms out. He's saying, who's showing for this one? Mateo Kovacic does. Kovacic across towards Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Manu Akanji stepping into midfield for City. Well, Akanji playing the left-hand side of defence today. And he's stepping into midfield alongside Kovacic and Rico. And then it's Vardiol and Diaz playing as centre-backs on their own. Interesting from Pep Guardiola. Is that how we're going to deal with the Rodri situation? Rico Lewis lays it off to Haaland. He passes the ball behind Kovacic. Takes a nice first touch away from Guimaraes and then a pass forward. But he gives it away as Haaland chases it. And City lose it again. Joelinton. In there is Kovacic. Foot in by Kovacic. Puts it behind for a throw. But it's been a scrappy start. Bruno Guimaraes scuffs his switch of play to Trippier. Grealish out to him and Trippier's forced backwards here. But it's been all Newcastle in his opening few minutes. It's a poor pass by Newcastle wide to Barnes. It looks like City playing pretty much in a back two. Vardiol and Diaz with Akanji stepping into that midfield like we've seen John Stones do. Pep Guardiola having big conversations with Juan Malio on the sidelines. Haaland, wonderful hold-up play by Erling Haaland there. Into Joshko Vardiol, who goes wide left to Jack Grealish from Manchester City. Grealish cuts inside. Grealish shoots here, blocked away. Deflected out to Manu Akanji on the chest, and Akanji across to Grealish. Grealish again. Akanji once more. City with the ball on the edge of this Newcastle defence, and Manu Akanji's the man with it. Wide left to Grealish once again. Grealish. Walker. Out to Bernardo Silva. Kovacic. City fans in loud voice here at St James's Park. Ruben Diaz. Over the left-hand side towards Jack Grealish. City are very open to the counter-attack today with the way they're playing. Grealish up against Trippier. Grealish still. Lays it off to Manu Akanji. Akanji hits one! Dragged just past the post, but it comes off the shins of Sandro Tonali with a deflection. And it will be a corner ball, but Jack Grealish there, taught him the Newcastle defence. Akanji, I mean, City have got so many bodies around the edge of the Newcastle box. It's very expansive from Manchester City today. Very, very expansive. And Ilkay Gundogan comes across to take the corner for City. Gundogan takes the corner from the left-hand side. Gundogan's waiting for City to get set in the box. He takes his time, Gundogan. City still taking the time. The Newcastle fans think they're wasting time. Gundogan plays it short to Grealish. Back to Ilkay Gundogan. He whips into the far post here. Round the back is Bernardo Silva. Haaland's on the floor. He feels like he's been taken down. Referee says nothing, City play on. Here's Lewis Hall, who spins one forward into the path of Bruno Guimaraes. And he's up against Kyle Walker, who's quicker and stronger than Guimaraes. And he wins it back for Manchester City. Well played, Kyle Walker. Rodri. Without him in that City side, but City still doing all they can to try and be the best possible Manchester City side, and they've changed the way they play him. It seems like a Diaz and Walker backline with then Vardiol. When City get the ball in the high position, very high up. Vardiol. Akanji. Joshko Vardiol once again. Back to Diaz, and Kieran Trippier's asking for a switch in footwear here. New boots for Trippier on the sideline. Gundogan. Through the back of him comes Sandro Tonali. Referee plays advantage Diaz. Vardiol. A turn by Akanji, nicely done by City. Then into space of Ilkay Gundogan on this left-hand side. Gundogan's got Jack Grealish with him. City's number 19 plays the ball through to Haaland. Great touches by Haaland, who shoots. Doesn't quite catch the ball at all. He had Rico Lewis behind him. It would have been difficult to play the back heel for Haaland, but instead he goes for goal himself. Nice ball by Ilkay Gundogan. Haaland, the angle was very tight. Difficult to try and score from there. Nick Pope. Pressed by Haaland. He's asked to ping it forward on the right foot, Pope. Trippier against Vardiol, and Vardiol wins the header out for a throw into Newcastle. City struggle with a long ball. Thumbs up by Pep Guardiola for the Croatian centre-back, or full-back as he is now. Joshko Vardiol heading that one away, dealing with that long ball situation. Gundogan, can he make his first bit of impact really for City? He hasn't really made an impact since his return to the club, has he? But he's not played too many games, you'd say. Round the corner by Lewis Hall to Joelinton. Nice play. Barnes through towards Anthony Gordon. It's good play from Newcastle. Will City get away with it? Too heavy of pass by Harvey Barnes in behind. It goes straight through to Edison. Cutting off that left-hand side, Barnes, and playing the ball through. Here's Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Pretty much playing what feels like on his own at the back. Vardiol. In the build-up, Vardiol and Walker either side of him. But once City get on the edge of that Newcastle box, Vardiol's playing as sort of an inside winger, really, with Grealish to the left of him. Edison. In towards Rico Lewis. Nice pass, and Rico back towards Ruben Diaz. Diaz spins one into Haaland here. Through the back of him comes Fabian Schär. No free kick, says the referee. Guimaraes, she plays the ball wide and goes through Ilkay Gundogan in the process. Referee says still no foul. Crossing by Murphy's just a little bit overhit on Anthony Gordon to get to at the far post. Goal kick City, but Erling Haaland is not happy. He tries to hold up the plate. Fabian Schär comes to the back of it, and also Bruno Guimaraes goes through Ilkay Gundogan in the process of his pass. It's a searching ball by Murphy, actually, from the right side. He tries to bend it to the far corner. It's bouncing across the goalkeeper, box there. In the end, City don't get anywhere near Gordon, but the ball is a little bit overhit. Edison fires one up towards Grealish, who takes a good touch here. Through the back of him comes Kieran Trippier. And it's a free kick, Manchester City. City take the free kick quickly. Ruben Diaz. Manu Akanji. And Vardiol is very, very high up again here for City. Here is Kyle Walker. Kovacic. Switch of play to the left-hand side by Kovacic is nicely done. Jack Grealish, nice first touch up against England international teammate Kieran Trippier. Grealish. Diaz. Kovacic. Kovacic under pressure here from Gordon. He's under a lot of pressure and he's forced back to goalkeeper Edison, and Gordon chases it down as he does do. Well, Edison's made a mistake here. He's back-heeled it through to Walker. Edison's so confident, but such a big risk that is. Really big risk by Edison. Long ball to Haaland, who just can't control that one. And behind for a throw. But what is Edison doing here? The pressure from Gordon. He takes his time. And in the end, he back-heels it. I mean, Edison's 5-10 yards outside his own box. He's got Gordon on top of him and he back-heels it to Akanji. I mean, it switches to Pep Guardiola, who does not look impressed with that at all. Crazy from Edison. When it comes off, as it regularly does for Edison, I suppose. Here is Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Diaz takes his time on the ball for City. On to Vardiol. Wide left to Jack Grealish. Under pressure. Grealish does so well there just to take there was pressure on Grealish there, and he could have panicked. You could have like intercept, expected a player to come in behind him. No, he takes his time. Grealish takes the sting out of it and keeps City in possession. Haaland here, good hold up play by Haaland again, but his pass is poor and it's straight out for a throw, and that's poor by Erling Haaland, who should be doing better. Should be doing a lot better. Guimaraes, him and Joelinton look so similar, don't they, with the bleach blonde hair. I'm doing a City career mode. Who do you think will be the coach after Pep's and Sam Evans? It's a difficult one, that. Difficult one. Mikel from Girona is probably one of the favourites, I would say. But I don't exactly know what type of manager City will go for. Someone to steady the ship. Someone to start a new era. What does City decide to do? That's the interesting part, isn't it? Good play by Guimaraes in the middle, and Bruno switch the play through to Murphy. What a ball. They've got a player at the far post. Murphy tries to cross it first time. Joško Vardiol slides in. Deflects the cross and back to his goalkeeper Edison. But they look open, City, at times. You can see what Newcastle's plan is to do here. Manu Akanji in midfield for City, chased by Anthony Gordon. Akanji back to Rico Lewis. Well done, Manu. Kovacic. Anthony Gordon's certainly working hard up top for Newcastle today. Kovacic. Rico Lewis. Taking his time here, Rico. Looking to switch it, goes back towards Kyle Walker. Walker with a bad pass, but Akanji deals with it. Walker trying to force it through the big block of the midfield of Newcastle. Here is Akanji. Ruben Diaz. City have got many players between the lines here at Newcastle. And that midfield and defence of Newcastle, City have got Rico Lewis, Gundogan and Vardiol standing behind it. Jack Grealish. Grealish still. Well played again, Grealish, into Walker. He's having a good game, Jack Grealish, today. Walker for City. Gundogan makes a run. Tries to create space for maybe Bernardo Silva on that right-hand side. Back out towards Ruben Diaz, Manchester City. Diaz into Rico Lewis. Kovacic. A dominating approach by City here today at St James's Park. Very, very expansive from Pep Guardiola's side, despite saying it's a conservative approach to the players on the pitch. Vardiol turns into pressure. Tackle on him, it deflects back to Grealish. Grealish. Kovacic. City very calm and collected so far on the ball. Walker. Kovacic once again. It's pretty much Walker and Diaz playing as a back two, with Kovacic and Akanji in front. And then you've got Grealish and Bernardo in the wide areas. Vardiol, Rico Lewis and Gundogan, the sort of three in behind the striker Erling Haaland. It is a strange approach from City. Very, very forward-thinking from Pep Guardiola in the formation. And is this how we're going to play with the absence of Rodri? Vardiol, Diaz. Back to Vardiol. Looking for Jack Grealish, but Newcastle doing very well, Newcastle. Very well. Closing City down quickly. Gundogan gets his foot in there. Anthony Gordon's played, isn't he? He's got there ahead of Diaz, who's hands on approach. Gordon across to Harvey Barnes. 1-on-1 with Walker. Barnes, Jolinton on the overlap. Pulled it back to Barnes. Bernardo Silva gets back for City as well. Guimaraes. Barnes and Newcastle have a bit of possession of their own on the edge of the City box here. Bruno White to Jolinton. Back in towards Hall. Combination on his left-hand side. Guimaraes cuts in on that right foot. Deflects to Gordon. Gordon across to Trippier. Space for Kieran Trippier. Hits one here, Kieran Trippier. Sliding challenge by Jack Grealish. Slides with the legs spread wide, and he gets it between the legs there, Grealish. That will hurt. Did well to get back and defend, but he felt that one. Then Manchester City's number 10. Good play by Newcastle. Guimaraes gets a bit lucky. It deflects into Anthony Gordon's path. He's composed in the box. Turns, plays it wide right to Kieran Trippier, who hits one. And it hits Jack Grealish right between the legs. And Jack Grealish is still on the floor here. He's seen the funny side, Grealish, but he's also feeling that one. Well, Kieran Trippier's getting his new set of boots on now. Interesting. So Trippier already with a new change of boots. We said that he was on the sideline speaking to someone. The boots are ready, and he's now changing them during the corner. Ilkay Gundogan is saying that Trippier is not yet on the field. Corner Newcastle United, they've got lots of big players here. City defended the corner poorly against Arsenal last week as it goes in towards Jolinton. City struggling, Jolinton with another header into the hands of Ederson. But once again, City on the set piece seem to be marking the near post, while Newcastle all stand at the far post and have a free run at it. Just like the set piece we saw against Arsenal. Diaz. Walker. Rico Lewis, and a tackle on Bernardo Silva by Guimaraes throwing Manchester City. Well, now Kieran Trippier's got one purple boot and one orange boot. Well, that's the main talking point, it seems to be, in the half so far. Bernardo's lost it. Tonali wins it back. Brilliant from Sandro Tonali. Then a great ball in towards Kieran Trippier. City in trouble. Trippier chance for the cross. Trippier, can he pick a pass? Trippier ball in. Diaz poked it away. Gordon then was stood at the far post waiting for it. Fabian Schär back into Trippier. On the overlap to Tonali. Crossing again. Blocked by Vardiol. Another corner for Newcastle, who have grown into this game despite City's possession. City possession but not done much with it. Newcastle, when they get the chance, they're going forward. So corner ball for Newcastle again. Oh, it's a throw-in actually this time. Trippier short to Murphy. And he goes back to Fabian Schär. Dan Burn. Lewis Hall, a tackle by Kyle Walker here and Harvey Barnes. Walker thinks he got the ball. The referee says no to the captain. Free kick goes Newcastle's way. If Newcastle want to take a set piece, Jared Gillett is saying that's too far now, Lewis Hall. That's the space where you're taking it from. He's going to swing it in here, the young full-back. Well, he played for Chelsea. He's moved it another 3 or 4 yards forward there, Lewis Hall. The referee's let him get away with that as he turned his back. Lewis Hall to take this one. City a nice high line outside their own box, trying to defend this well. Talking to by Jared Gillett, no holding, no pushing, no pulling. As Vardiol shoves one of the Newcastle players. Gordon looks to cross it in. Instead, Lewis Hall whips it in here, and it's Kyle Walker who heads it away at the near post, the captain. And Gundogan flicks it on as well, far back out to Lewis Hall. Chased by Bernardo Silva. Gordon with space in this left-hand side here. Anthony Gordon for Newcastle. Against Rico Lewis. Gordon with a swing in here. Tonali takes to take it down. Kovacic away. Now to Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle dominating this game at the moment. The fans are enjoying that. Anthony Gordon. Run by Guimaraes. Gordon whips one in again. It's deflected on the cross here. Ruben Diaz heads it away. Back out to Gordon once again. He heads it down to City and leads a City counter. Gundogan. Nice touch by Gundogan. Oh, and he's forgot the ball, Ilkay Gundogan. That's really poor by City's midfielder. And Newcastle look to play a swing of ball in behind towards Harvey Barnes. It's away, but Gundogan there has got to be better on the ball. He gets the ball stuck under his feet when City had a bit of a counter-attacking opportunity. Got throwing down near the corner flag after an overhit pass from Sandro Tonali. City taking the time with this one, Joško Vardiol. Trying to get his players back in position, in shape. Here's Joško Vardiol. Forward here for Haaland. The ball is thrown straight out of play. And actually the ball never went into play, apparently. Vardiol's throw never actually went into play, so it's another throw-in for City. The Newcastle fans not happy with that, but Vardiol takes it again. And then it's a foul throw, so he's giving it Newcastle's throw-in anyway. I don't really understand what was going on there. Trippier. Back to Fabian Schär. Lifts one forward, Schär into a nice position to Tonali, who takes it on the head here, up against Vardiol. There's a cross to him. Vardiol outstrengths him, and then he gets a free kick here, Joško Vardiol. Pushing and pulling each other there, the two. But it always seems to go the defender's way, doesn't it, once they win it back. Vardiol leaves it for Akanji. And he leaves it for Ederson. So Ederson's going to take a big long one here for City to try and help them get out, because at the moment we're stuck in our own half a little bit. Ederson picks the ball up, walks back a few yards and then throws it further forward than where it was. And he's going to lump this up towards, surely, Erling Haaland, who's the only focal point in this side. Haaland against Trippier. Haaland wins the header and flicks it on. Guimaraes back in towards the players. A tackle by Kovacic in there on Guimaraes. City have it back. Kovacic pounces. Guimaraes stays down. Jack Grealish. And then Jolinton goes and fouls Grealish. He gives him a bit of kick on the way through. And it's a free kick Manchester City. Well, Jolinton kicks Grealish on the way through there. I don't understand why Jolinton has to do that, but he feels like he has to. He fouls Grealish here, which is a clear foul. And then he kicks Grealish on the way through. Possibly on purpose there, as he tries to back up his friend Guimaraes, who he thought was fouled. So it's a free kick City. And Pep Guardiola's having a bit of a talk here with the fourth official. Rob Jones, the fourth official's laughing at that, whatever Pep Guardiola's telling him, and he's looking at Eddie Howe. They both don't agree. So, free kick Manchester City this time. Far left-hand side, maybe 20, 30 yards away from the box. Quite near the byline as well. Is it Bernardo Silva or Ilkay Gundogan to swing this one in? An outswinger from Bernardo or an in-swinger from Ilkay. City take the time. Bernardo leaves it. It's an outswinger from Bernardo Silva. It's a great ball and it's headed away by Jolinton. And a free kick Newcastle's way. Erling Haaland too physical with, I don't know who it was, Dan Burn, I think. I think that's got to be frustrating for Erling Haaland, really, because in pretty much every game, Erling Haaland gets manhandled and the referee never seems to give many free kicks his way. But when he does it to the opposition player, does it, exactly the same sort of physicality back, they do give a free kick the other way. So it's very frustrating for Erling Haaland, isn't it? Long ball by Newcastle, straight out for a throw-in for Manchester City. Down this far right-hand side. Well, City make a mistake again. Ederson with a long ball. Knocks it out of play. And they go back towards Dan Burn in Newcastle. They've played well, Newcastle, actually. They've had more chances than Manchester City. Long ball through to Murphy. It's overhit. And Ederson will pick this one up. He rolls it straight back out to Manu Akanji. Akanji for City. Kovacic. Diaz. Joško Vardiol. Gundogan and back towards Vardiol. He's got the ball stuck under his feet there. He's had to dig it out towards Ederson. It comes back to Ederson on the bounce. And Anthony Gordon's in on Ederson as he lumps it away. Grealish can't keep it and he's jumped into it. Fabian Schär is there. And now Fabian Schär wants to start some with Jack Grealish now for absolutely nothing. Grealish jumps for the header. Fabian Schär is there. Grealish does catch him with the elbow. But there's nothing in it, the referee says. He's only jumping for the ball. Jack Grealish laughs with Fabian Schär. Well, he has the ability to wind up the opposition, Grealish, doesn't he? Very, very well. And he's continuing to do it today. Guimaraes under pressure from Gundogan. He does well and he goes back. So far, City, yeah. Formed by Schär here. And Vardiol against Murphy. Joshko Vardiol, a sliding challenge. Manages to lift it up and out. It's a corner for Newcastle. Well, Vardiol does a lot of good last-ditch defending, to be honest with you. But that tends to be because he's out of position. He's done really well there to get to that one. Good defending, but he's out of position in the first place, Joshko Vardiol, on that long ball. But he feels like he's marking two at the moment, the Croatian. Corner ball for Newcastle again. Again, they all line up at that far post. Looking to take some inspiration from Arsenal's goal at the weekend. Previous weekend. Crossing by Lewis Hall. It's to the far post here. It hits Grace and goes behind for a corner. Or was it Haaland who headed it behind for a corner? City a little bit lucky there. Erling Haaland gets a header on it to flick it on. It hits Grealish and goes behind for a corner. Could have gone anywhere. Could have gone anywhere. City, lucky. And we look a little bit disjointed here in this set piece, City. Everyone's giving each other instructions. It doesn't look comfortable at all. Trippier swings it in again to the far post to Shite. It back across the box. A block in there on Dan Burn-Jolinton. Back out he goes. Murphy, Guimaraes. He says it comes off a hand. They say no. Here's Bernardo Silva into Jack Grealish here. Through the side of Jack Grealish comes Fabian Schär. He wanted to get Grealish back for the elbow. The referee knew that was him trying to get Grealish back, and it's a yellow card for Fabian Schär. The Swissman knew what he was doing there. Kicks the legs of Grealish as City look to go on the counter. A yellow card for a foul on Jack Grealish there. A nasty one by Fabian Schär. Cutting out the counter, but also getting a bit of revenge as he sees it on Jack Grealish for the elbow in the head. I think Fabian Schär's actually apologised to Grealish for that. I don't think he meant to do it. Vardiol to take this free kick here. Taking his time again, Joshko Vardiol. He's going to get booked here, Vardiol. He's going to get booked. And he sends it long towards Rico Lewis. Lewis takes it down well. Haaland. Wide right to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo for City. Gundogan's on the edge of the box in space. Gundogan! And he mishits it. Oh my word. Ilkay Gundogan is really, really bad at the moment. Big longer ball over the top by Vardiol. Rico Lewis takes it down well. Haaland sprays it out to the wide right to Bernardo Silva. Gundogan's in acres of space on the edge of the box. But he hits it into the ground, into his own foot. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And that is not the first time Ilkay Gundogan has got the ball and his feet mixed up. And that is worrying, that Ilkay Gundogan just doesn't look at all like he's any good, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, he's been very poor today. Twice had a good chance of City to try and do something. And both times he's looked like he doesn't know what he's doing with the ball at his feet. Murphy. Trippier. Back to Fabian Schär. Big switch of play by Schär is fantastic. Walker chases. It's still into the box for Ederson. It's a little bit overhit by Schär, but it's a really nice idea from the Swissman, who's top quality on the ball, isn't he? The Newcastle centre-back. He's absolutely top quality on the ball. Good defender as well. Ederson. Wide left to Vardiol. Into Jack Grealish. The back of him comes Trippier. They play on. Haaland, he's dropped Van Burn here with a strength. Haaland, he goes into Ilkay Gundogan. There's so much space for Bernardo on the far right. And he gets to him. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo onto that left foot. Bernardo to the far post to Haaland here. Great defending by Newcastle. Last ditch defending by Trippier. Really good defending by Trippier there. Haaland was just waiting for it at the far post. Well, Haaland and Dan Burn go in for a 50-50 battle. Dan Burn ends up on the floor. Off to Gundogan, who fires it out wide right to Bernardo. You think he's going to get it on that left foot and shoot. He sort of drags it to the far post along the floor. Haaland is there, and it's really good last-ditch defending from Kieran Trippier before Haaland gets there. A good bit of respect shown by the two players. Trippier shakes hands with Erling Haaland afterwards, who was there right behind him waiting for a tap-in. Corner City, Ilkay Gundogan is on it. Towards the near post, the Kanji's there. Newcastle away on as far as Jack Grealish. Back out to Ilkay Gundogan on the far left. Gundogan. Swings another one in here. Gundogan. Vardiol is in there and away by Joelinton. Bernardo heads it back forward. Akanji chests it down. Vardiol is there with the right foot. Tries to take it a touch away and then shoot. Vardiol thinks it come off the Newcastle United player. So is Ilkay Gundogan. Referee says no. It's a goal kick to the home side. Well, good play by City. Good play by City. In the build-up to the corner, but the corner, we didn't really trouble Newcastle at all. Joelinton across that near post, heading it away easily. But it's been very even, really. City at times have dominated possession, but I think it's been a pretty even game, to be honest with you. Harvey Barnes, well done Kyle Walker. He's done well there, the captain. Kovacic on the turn. Into Manu Akanji, back to Kovacic. That's nicely done by City. We're lacking that physical presence of Rodri in midfield, City, so Akanji, Kovacic, and a few others in there to try and get back to it. Rico Lewis under pressure, Kovacic, Akanji, over to Walker. Nicely done by City. Really, really playing the ball well there, Manchester City. Walker. Late one in by Joelinton. Referee gives a free kick to City here. A late one by the Brazilian. Number 2 by Joelinton that's been late. Well, he's that sort of player, Joelinton, and, you know, he's not trying to injure players. He's just a little bit aggressive. He's sometimes there late, just letting you know he's there. If he tries to injure you, that's a different thing, but he's not doing that. Joelinton just played aggressively on the front foot, and he's going to give away free kicks playing like that, but that's what the Newcastle fans want to see. That's what they're absolutely behind, aren't they? And a free kick City now. Well, City having a problem here with an injury. I don't know if that's Erling Haaland who's injured. Here's Kovacic. City play it short. Gundogan with a cross in. It's absolutely terrible from Ilkay Gundogan. He crossed it straight out for a goal kick. Well, I have to say, Gundogan's had three key moments in today's game. Miscontrolling the ball and getting stuck under his feet. Being free on the edge of the box and kicking it into his own feet, out for a goal kick, and then that cross. It's a foul here by Kovacic. I don't know if Erling Haaland is carrying a bit of a knock here. Newcastle go short with Trippier towards Guimaraes, who's floored by Erling Haaland, who just goes shoulder to shoulder. The referee says no, a free kick. But if they do it to Erling Haaland, it's becoming frustrating for Haaland. You can sense it in him. That when they do it to him, it's not a foul. But when he does it to someone else, it is. But it's just because he's such a big man. Newcastle to take a free kick here. City holding a really high line. The free kick is literally on the centre circle in their own half. Trippier over it. Trippier sends it long. Dan Burns is the target. 6'7" of him. City win it. Gundogan wide to Bernardo Silva. On the chest to Bernardo. Back to Walker. Walker takes too much time here. He's skinned Dan Burn brilliantly there, Kyle Walker. Fair play to the City captain. He's run himself back into trouble and had to go back to Ederson. Dan Burn's pressing Ederson, but City play it wide to Vardiol. It's a poor pass by Ederson, and it's given away back to Newcastle by Manchester City under the press. Guimaraes for a late one in Ilkay Gundogan here. Sliding challenge by the Brazilian, and it will be a yellow card for Bruno Guimaraes and Ilkay Gundogan. Well, Guimaraes just said in an interview in Brazil, hasn't he, that the player he looked up to when he was younger was Ilkay Gundogan, and he said he used to have on his a shirt that said Bruno Doan on it. Bro Doan. And, well, he's gone slide in there and Ilkay Gundogan. I think the Nia Gundogan catches the head of Guimaraes as he goes in for the challenge. It's a late one by the Brazilian. I think he's going to be okay, but that certainly will have hurt him. He's gone in to win the ball. Well, Erling Haaland has picked up an injury here and he's really struggling. Manchester City could be in trouble because Erling Haaland has picked up an injury as well now and he's struggling to run it off. Well, the two players we can't afford to lose are Rodri and Haaland. Rodri's our only holding midfielder and Haaland's our only striker. If Erling Haaland's injured and we've got no striker, Manchester City, the season is absolutely over because Rodri's already out. Walker with a good win there, but it's straight back to Newcastle. Forward, down by Diaz, Kovacic, Walker. Kovacic, nice spin, use of the body by Kovacic into Gundogan. Back towards Akanji and on towards Vardiol. Vardiol can turn it and go into Jack Grealish. Grealish for City. Great feat by Grealish. He's rode the challenges really well there, Jack Grealish. Then a ball into Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan tries to play a ball through and he's fell over his own feet again, Ilkay Gundogan. I don't know whether he needs to swap feet or swap legs. But he looks like he's not a footballer today, Ilkay Gundogan. Guimaraes gets away from him. Lewis Hall, under pressure from Bernardo Silva. And then into Guimaraes, great play. Guimaraes switches the play towards Mateo Kovacic to try and cover ground in the centre. As Trippier picks it up. Guimaraes, ball through towards Gordon. It's a little bit too overhit. And Akanji will beat Gordon onto the end of it. And back to Ederson. City playing the high line, which is dangerous against the likes of, you know, Gordon and Barnes, who are quick. But at the moment, it's worked so far. Rico Lewis. Akanji. Kovacic. Rico. Gundogan. Misplaced pass, but it falls to Diaz. Mateo Kovacic. 34 minutes on the clock here at St James's Park. Kovacic. Ruben Diaz. Vardiol's very narrow. Grealish has got lots of space on the left-hand side. Jack Grealish for City's. Skip past Kieran Trippier as Jack Grealish. Then into Vardiol. Vardiol a chance, cuts on the right foot. Vardiol shoots! What a goal! What a goal by Joško Vardiol! What a finish! This man is not a fullback. This man is not a centre-back. Jack Grealish skins Kieran Trippier. He plays it into Vardiol in the box. He looks like he's going to shoot the left foot and pull the trigger. He does the defender Fabian Sharp, puts it onto his right foot and then rolls it into the far bottom corner with his weaker right foot. Absolutely fantastic from Joško Vardiol. This man is not a fullback. That is fantastic from Grealish, by the way. Into Vardiol. That first touch there sits down Dan Burn. And the right-footed finish to the bottom corner. I mean, if Erling Haaland gets injured, I think our solution is playing Joško Vardiol at striker. This man is more than just a centre-back that we sign. He's absolutely fantastic on the ball. Brilliant feat by Joško Vardiol. And Manchester City has a lead at St James's Park. Our first shot of the game. What a finish. What a finish from Vardiol on his weaker right foot. He only scores with his right foot, rolls it into the bottom right-hand corner. But it's very impressive by Vardiol. Very, very impressive. From a young defender who's cost Manchester City 90 million euros. And he's more than just a defender, isn't he? He's got absolutely everything. All wide into Kieran Trippier. He's going to chase this one down. Trippier will get there ahead of Vardiol. And we'll get down this far right-hand side. Trippier. Back to Murphy. Tonali. Guimaraes. Trippier. Jolinton once again. Guimaraes up against Ilkay Gundogan. Little 1-2 with Gordon, and then Guimaraes outside the boot, passing towards Lewis Hall. He works it forward here, Lewis Hall. The ball in towards Jolinton. He's going to bulldoze Ruben Diaz now. And he pushes Diaz over. It's a corner for Newcastle. Diaz there was a little bit naive. Great finish for Vardiol, superb from Grealish as well, says Joel. Yeah, Grealish is fantastic on the left-hand side there. He skips past Trippier brilliantly. Well, it's the left ankle of Erling Haaland which is causing problems, and if you can see, he's completely split his ankle. The sock is cut, and his ankle is completely split. You can see the blood. That looks a really painful one for the Norwegian, who's playing on. Crossing, Haaland away at the near post. Good head away by Erling Haaland. Here's Anthony Gordon. Trippier. Ball comes in. Ederson comes for it. Punches ahead of Akanji. City can't get it away. Back to Murphy. Takes the touch. Pressing by Bernardo Silva and Fabian Schär. Newcastle forced backwards onto the halfway line into the centre circle with Lewis Hall. Here's Kieran Trippier. Fires one left to Harvey Barnes, who can't control it. And it's a throw-in for City on that far right-hand side to be taken by captain Kyle Walker. But Erling Haaland, at least it's not a muscle injury, but it looks like a nasty one. A big gash on his ankle around his Achilles. The sock is completely cut. And he's feeling that on Erling Haaland. He really is. 38 minutes. We're approaching the clock here. But an impressive game so far at St James's Park from both sides, to be fair. Manchester City, the side that have got the goal. Diaz. Long forward by Ruben Diaz towards Erling Haaland. Dan Burn wins the header. Out for a throw into City. Well, he looks a little bit less mobile at the moment, Haaland, with that injury. But they're keeping a keen eye on him. Ooh, Ooh, Dan Burn comes straight for the back of Haaland with the studs there before. There's a replay, and that is what's happened. Dan Burn's gone through. Studs up on Haaland's ankle. No free kick, obviously. It's a nasty one, and that's left Erling Haaland injured. The heel on the boot of Erling Haaland has broke, so he's going to have to put new boots on as well at half-time if he's going to come back out. Because the heel on his boot's broken as well. Guimaraes around the far post towards Trippier. Takes it down well, Trippier. Looks to cross, doesn't do. Pulls it back into the edge of the box. No one is there. Kovacic! Sliding challenge keeps it away from Guimaraes from shooting. But keep an eye on Erling Haaland. Lewis Hall here. Cross comes in, blocked by Walker. Gundogan just lumps it away. And Haaland will chase it now. And he chases down Nick Pope under pressure. Pope onto Dan Burn. He's give it away. Gundogan picks it up. City in a brilliant position here. Gundogan shoots. What is he doing? What is Ilkay Gundogan doing? Nick Pope gives it away to Ilkay Gundogan. We're one-on-one with the keeper. He's got Haaland to the left of him. He's a defender there as well. 2-on-1. He's got to give it to Erling Haaland. That's all he's got to do. But Ilkay Gundogan decides to go for goal himself. The ball doesn't even come off the ground, and he just clips it straight into the goalkeeper's arms. Ilkay Gundogan has been by far the worst player on the pitch today, unfortunately. So bad from Gundogan. Again there. Akanji. Gundogan. Back to Kovacic. Diaz. Vardiol. Under pressure. Round the corner to Grealish. Vardiol. He's gone down. He's slipped. City have to do that. It's a bad decision by Diaz to pass it to Vardiol anyway. Tonali. Gordon lifts onto the far post. Walker chests it down. So confidently, so calmly by the captain. Into the hands of goalkeeper Ederson. But what a chance for City. Nick Pope gives it away. Nearly on the halfway line. Gundogan, all he's got to do is feed it to Haaland or pass it. And he's tried to lift it over the keeper. What is Gundogan doing? And Pep Guardiola very frustrated with the captain there. I have no idea what Gundogan's decision making is there. I don't know why he's done that. But he looks like he can't kick a football today, Gundogan. Ederson. Great ball into Grealish. He holds it off from Trippier. Gundogan. Plays the ball in behind towards Haaland. Onto the end of it here. Haaland ahead of Dan Burn. He just can't get it under his feet. They get away. Lewis Hall just helps, but Gundogan picks it back up. Gundogan back into Haaland again, and he can't get there. It's an overhit pass by, who do you think, but Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan with a really bad pass again. The first one's good to Haaland. Haaland just can't control it. He can lose it under his feet. Newcastle give it straight back to Gundogan, and then he just completely overhits the ball towards Haaland. A pass to Haaland there. Again, a decent pass from Gundogan, and City score. But City wasting chances with poor final balls. Rico Lewis heads it into Bernardo Silva's path, who beats Lewis Hall to it. Then into Rico Lewis. Guimaraes, good physicality. But back to Kyle Walker. He wins it back for City. Well done, Kyle Walker. A little kick in there as well on him. Kovacic under pressure from Anthony Gordon. Bernardo and City take the stinger out of that one. Walker. Walker for City. Back out to Rico Lewis and back in towards Bernardo. There's so much space for Jack Grealish on this left-hand side. He's in aching space. City's number 10. But City haven't gone to him quite yet. They're forcing it down the right-hand side. Grealish has got his arms out wide. Walker. Rolls it with the studs towards Rico Lewis in front of him. Walker eventually does switch the play towards Grealish. But it's a bad pass by Walker. And it's dealt with by Kieran Trippier. And out for a throw-in. Vardiol. City's so patient, aren't they, on the ball? And it does frustrate opposition teams as it's supposed to. Throwing for City. Pep Guardiola very frustrated that City have gone backwards there with a throw-in. Kovacic. In towards Rico. Rico. Gundogan. Again, City creating really well. Rico Lewis has been fantastic, by the way. Grealish still. Grealish rolls at the edge of the box. It's Manu Akanji with a shot. Blocked away by Guimaraes behind for a corner. Well, Manu Akanji is from centre-back playing the Rodri role. And you know how Rodri just stands on the edge of the box. He gets the ball fed back to him. And he tries to just curl it into the bottom right-hand corner. Kanji's tried that twice today. Both times it's been blocked. Both times it's been a corner. Erling Haaland's had a bit of a talk with Gerard Schilt, the referee here. I don't know if it's to do with the physicality on him in the box. But he's limping, Erling Haaland, still. So corner Manchester City. Ilkay Gundogan to take it. Can he pull off a decent pass today, Gundogan. Gundogan crosses it in. Akanji in there away by Joelinton, who's so good in those positions. Rico Lewis loses it. A Newcastle counter. Gordon wide towards Murphy. Trouble for City here. Murphy down the line here. Kovacic there. Bernardo Silva slides in. Murphy goes past Bernardo. Murphy still into the box here. Murphy pulls it back. Walker defending. Kovacic takes a touch and lumps it away on towards Gundogan. Bernardo Silva. Newcastle want a penalty for the handball. I don't think it was. It hit Kovacic in the chest. Bernardo switched it to Vardiol here. Grealish come further wide. Needs to come wider here, Grealish. Grealish for City. That was a good chance for Newcastle on the counter. You thought something might come of it. Jacob Murphy did, or Josh Murphy, I can't remember which one. Him or his brother did really well, bursting down that left-hand side. He beat Bernardo Silva. He got past Kovacic as well. But he's crossed its Walker, and then it hits Kovacic, who's basically stood off the pitch. But he keeps it in, and then he gets it away. Diaz, Grealish. I'm liking Vardiol's position. He's playing like a striker, Joshka Vardiol. Alongside Haaland. Diaz. Walker. Kovacic. Walker again. Kovacic. Akanji. Pressure from Tonali. Kovacic as well. Diaz. Wide to Grealish. First time into Vardiol. Vardiol takes his time. Back he goes to Diaz again. Didn't want to give it away there, Vardiol. Didn't want to make a mess of the City's build-up play. Oh, what a bit of play from Ederson. He clips it into Vardiol's path, who tries to flick it on, but he slips in the process. And hands on the head from Pep Guardiola. A good tackle by Ilkay Gundogan. It's a foul, apparently, as he gets the ball on Trippier. But Vardiol, as he passes it, his left foot loses grip on the grass and he slips. And Pep Guardiola is saying to Vardiol, don't pass it with your feet, head it. He could have headed it there. Giving instructions to his fullback. Well, 1 minute of added time. We've played 45 minutes of football. We've played 45 minutes and 30 seconds. So this Newcastle free kick will be one of the last moments of the half unless City get a counter. But I assume it will be the last attack. Trippier lifts one in. Dan Burn wins the header. Joelinton takes it down, and a big save from Ederson. And Haaland heads it away. And Dan Burn back in there. And City clear it away again. Big save from Ederson for City. Joelinton. Wide to Barnes. Trouble again. Barnes fires it across the box. Blocked away by Walker behind for a corner. What a chance for Newcastle. Joelinton takes it down fantastically on the right foot. Turns. Swivels on it. Hits it hard with the left foot. But brilliant reactions from Ederson. It's very close. It's down the middle, but it's very close. Ederson saves it. Crossing by Newcastle. Haaland away again at that near post. And that is the half-time whistle here at St James's Park. Manchester City lead Newcastle United by 1-0. It's Joshko Vardiol's absolutely brilliant goal. Grealish skins Trippier, plays it into Vardiol in the box, who sits down Dan Burn, switch it from the left to the right foot, and slots it into the bottom right-hand corner. City have had control at times, but Newcastle have had chances right at the end there. Joelinton firing one at Ederson. Ilkay Gundogan has had probably the worst ever Manchester City game he'll ever have. In terms in front of goal, and Erling Haaland also seems to be carrying a big injury on the ankle, a big gash after a sliding challenge by Dan Burn when unpunished. I don't know if Dan Burn slipped, I'm not exactly sure. Half time, after the first 45 minutes, City lead by 1-0 at St James's Park. All the action, we will be back for the second half, for an exciting second half, I'm sure, when Newcastle will continue to push and try and get that equaliser. City, we're looking to try and kill the game off with a second goal and a third goal. We're back for the second half after this short break.
sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good.
I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poop, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go fuck with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando. From the ceiling fan to the damn floor, trying to stack my money up. Cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like, now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
Too cold, standing in the middle of the downpour, looking in the mirror 'cause it's only you that you have to leave. Headed backward on a one-way, trying to stop from running but you can't wait. Bury all the evidence you lonely learn when you crash and burn. A red
So welcome back to the second half of Manchester City versus Newcastle. The players are coming out onto the field now. There is some suggestion that we might not see Erling Haaland come out for the second half. We'll have to see if Erling Haaland is forced off, and maybe Phil Foden comes on at false 9. There was a suggestion that Foden was warming up at half-time, ready to come on for Erling Haaland, but I think Erling Haaland is back out for the second half. So that is one positive to take as Manchester City fans. Edison made an absolutely incredible save at the end of the first half. He started the season pretty slow, Edison. It looked like his head wasn't in it. But that was brilliant from Edison. I think he's going to keep Ortega out again this season. And we'll probably see Stefan Ortega leave at the end of the season. I can't see Ortega stay at another year. Can you? I don't know. That is a question for maybe another time, isn't it? But out come the Newcastle players as well at home here. Big welcome back onto the pitch by the home fans at St James's Park. Great atmosphere, and the Geordies really do love the football, don't they? It's absolutely brilliant, Newcastle's ground. If you ever get a chance to go, I've been to a game at St James's Park. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. The Newcastle fans are pretty funny. They really are, and they do give it. They do give it, and they're happy to take it back as well. They are. They absolutely love their football club, don't they? Very passionate. So second half at St James's Park. And Erling Haaland is out for the second half, so positive there for City to take from that one. and maybe get himself some goals. Hopefully İlkay Gundogan can absolutely just wake up and decide, you know what, I'm İlkay Gundogan, and not play like he's been playing, which is nothing like İlkay Gundogan. So second half of the way, City lead by 1-0. A fantastic Joshko Vardiol goal is the difference. But City have had so many chances that have been messed up by İlkay Gundogan's really, really poor bits of play. Grealish loses out here in the air. Tonali. Jolinton. And across they go. Haaland hopefully is sorted out that injury. Guimaraes, the big long ball out left towards Harvey Barnes, who takes it on the chest. Really good ball by Bruno Guimaraes. Barnes tries to feed one behind here. Anthony Gordon, Diaz looks to pass it back to the keeper, Ederson. It flicks off Gordon behind for a goal kick. And Gordon goes and gets the ball for Ederson and gives it to him. But well played, Diaz. Maybe he got a little bit lucky with that one. Ederson picks up the ball here from the goal kick and puts it down for Diaz. So goal kick for Manchester City. City looking to play it out from the back. Newcastle playing a very high press. You can see Gordon's pretty much stood on Ederson now. Chasing down Diaz as well. City have been forced to play a long ball by Diaz. Haaland jumps to the header. He's pushing the back, and it's a header by Hall. It's a throw-in for City. And it's very difficult for City, isn't it, to deal with playing the long ball. Other than Haaland, we haven't got anyone to do that. But sometimes you do have to go more direct in games. And City certainly have learnt that over the years, especially with Erling Haaland. But if we have to go back to false nine City, then we'll be in a position where we can't ever do that. Ederson into Kanji. City play it very riskily in front of the Newcastle midfield, but we do well there. Vardiol. Grealish. Pressure on Trippier. Back to Vardiol. Jack Grealish is so good on that left-hand side today. He's been so good on that left-hand side today. Ederson. And maybe Savinho comes on for City just to liven things up on that right-hand side. Bernardo Silva's been pretty quiet, but you won't see Savinho trap back like Bernardo Silva does, or try and retain the ball in the same way. Gundogan. Ooh, a slap pass by Gundogan. Vardiol has to send it forward. Really should chase it against Trippier. And Trippier goes back to Nick Pope. Pope for Newcastle. Short to Guimaraes under pressure from Gundogan. It's a foul by İlkay Gundogan. And it's a free kick to Newcastle. Gundogan nice and tight behind him, but that ball was never on to Guimaraes there. It's a silly one from Nick Pope. He can't be doing that. I don't think Nick Pope should be doing that. Got to be careful, really, Newcastle. Nick Pope is a good shot stopper, but in terms of playing the ball out, that is probably one of his weak spots, and he's already been caught out once today. Gundogan didn't punish them for it. Nearly caught out again. Guimaraes against Rico Lewis. Sandro Tonali. And give it away here to Diaz, and Akanji back towards Kyle Walker. Walker with a shocking pass here. City try and win it back. Guimaraes to the back on Haaland here. City battling for it on the floor. Getting quite aggressive in the midfield, and Vardiol goes and wins it for City, and Grealish is taken out by Trippier. Here's Rico Lewis. Wide to Bernardo. It's a very physical game, this one. A physical but fair game. There's not little nasty challenges going in. They're just players going in to try and win the ball. And that is nice to see, to be honest with you. I don't mind a physical game. I don't like it being aggressive, but I want the players to be fair. And both the Newcastle and City players have been fair in that. Kovacic. Bernardo on the right. Kovacic. Into Akanji. Kovacic. City do well there under pressure. Manu Akanji. What can't he do? Joshko Vardiol. That wide to Grealish here. Grealish on the left-hand side for City. Against Trippier. Grealish. Grealish cuts inside. Grealish into Akanji. Akanji. Good ball out to Bernardo Silva on this right-hand side. One-on-one with Lewis Hall. Clipping by him. Gundogan is in there. Headed away by Tonali. Good midfield play by Tonali. He read the danger there for Newcastle. And he got back in the middle and headed it away. Well, Phil Foden sits on the bench. Jeremy Doku next to him. Mateus Nunes and Savinho also. James McAtee. Wanting to get on the field, perhaps, these players. Here's Bernardo Silva into Dan Burn. Bernardo gets it back in the box here under pressure from Jolinton, and Newcastle win it back. Lewis Hall under pressure from Bernardo again. And it's lumped away by Newcastle. And only as far as Ruben Diaz. And Diaz goes back to goalkeeper Ederson. Takes his time, and City waiting to bring Newcastle out. Sometimes that's a good thing, and I saw that in the game against Arsenal. Sorry, couldn't get that out then. Against Arsenal, City, sometimes you want the opposition to come out a little bit, to lift their defensive line. So there's that a little bit more space in behind for someone like Haaland to find it. Kovacic under pressure here from Guimaraes. He's done well. Diaz, Rico Lewis. Lifts one over the top, Rico. That is absolutely unbelievable by Rico Lewis. Here's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo, City have got to capitalise here. Bernardo, wide to Grealish. And İlkay Gundogan gets in the way of the pass. Absolutely insane pass by Rico Lewis. City on the counter. Bernardo looks to switch it to Jack Grealish and Gundogan gets in the way. He actually... He's stopping City attacks now, Gundogan. And I suppose he was in the first half. Crossing by Newcastle. Glancing header dealt with. Barnes dives in the box here under pressure from Walker. That's a dive from Harvey Barnes. That is not any way should be encouraged by Newcastle fans. That's a clear dive by Harvey Barnes. A real bad dive by Harvey Barnes, it looked like, against Kyle Walker. Here's Kovacic. Vardiol. But İlkay Gundogan at the moment feels like he's playing for Newcastle. And he did in the first half as well, to be honest with you. Jack Grealish, every attack is killed by Gundogan. Grealish for City. In towards Rico, little back heel back to Grealish, tackle on him, Grealish, hit it Grealish, hit it! Goes into Haaland, he should have shot. Haaland wide. Here's Bernardo Silva. Akanji. Back through to Bernardo Silva, tackle by Lewis Hall, falls back out to Erling Haaland, who hits one, it's blocked behind for a corner. Tonali's gone down in the box under absolutely no contact here from Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish tells him to get up. What happens between Grealish and Tonali here? Well, Grealish throws his elbow out at Tonali. I don't think it's a... He just puts his arm back in Tonali. It's not an elbow. It's not like he's elbowed in the face. He's just put his arm back. The referee will check this on VAR, but there's absolutely nothing in that. Tonali's made the most of it. There's absolutely nothing in that. And Tonali there, he's got a bet on that. Has he got a bet on a yellow card for Jack Grealish or a red card for Grealish, Sandro Tonali? There's nothing in it. He's just pushed his arm back at Tonali, and Tonali's gone down like he's been shot. It was very, very silly from Tonali. I mean, Grealish shouldn't be doing it anyway. But that happens on a football pitch, little scuffles and pushes and that. But the fact that Sandro Tonali has made out that he's been shot is pretty embarrassing. You know, Newcastle, you think are tough, strong, honest players, like Alan Shearer. Sandro Tonali not proving to be one of those. Gundogan with a really poor cross from the corner. It's out for a throw into City. Headed away by Sandro Tonali. The softest man in Newcastle, Sandro Tonali, it seems to be. Throwing for City. Walker comes across to take it. Trippier and Grealish have a bit of a laugh together. Trippier's got matching boots on now. Throwing to Haaland here. Dealt with by Dan Burn. Lumped away by Lewis Hall. Walker leaves it. Joelinton in there. Kovacic heads it down. Anthony Gordon. Guimaraes into Hall, who lifts it high. Diaz heads it back forward. Lewis Hall in the chest. Nicely done. But in there's Rico Lewis battling with him. Under pressure, Lewis Hall. And he lumps it away again towards Anthony Gordon, who takes a really bad touch. And Vardiol back to Akanji. City deal with that really well. Then Akanji gives it straight to Newcastle. And he leads a Newcastle counter. And Manu Akanji against Anthony Gordon. Luckily, Manu Akanji is so quick for a big man. He's done really well there. Gundogan. Grealish. Grealish for City. He's snapped by Trippier. Free kick City. Trippier says he got the ball. Referee says no, free kick to Manchester City. Grealish flicks it round Trippier. He does touch the ball, and then he takes the legs of Grealish. So he does touch the minimal top. He does have a bit of a touch on the ball there, Trippier. But you can't touch the ball slightly, and then if the player's still going to the end of it, take him out. It doesn't work like that. Vardiol to take this free kick for City. Leaves it for Kovacic. City taking the time again here. Akanji, Kovacic. And back to Diaz. And across to Ederson. Well, the Newcastle fans are getting a little bit frustrated. City. I'm not sure City are time wasting. I think they're just indecisive. I think they don't know what they're doing when they get in those positions. Good ball by Edison into Haaland here. Vardiol. Wide left to Grealish. Big touch by Grealish. His port. Gives it away to Fabian Sharp. Murphy. Tonali. Tackle by Vardiol. He's good. Behind for a throw-in. Well, his first poor touch of the game there, Jack Grealish. Had a good game. Anthony Gordon and Kovacic in there quick to win it back. Tonali. Nowhere to go into Vardiol. Out for another throw-in for Newcastle. Newcastle take it quickly. Bruno Guimaraes. Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall deep in talks behind the goal. He's in here, Anthony Gordon! Past Edison, who takes it. Penalty! Edison takes out Anthony Gordon. A yellow card for the Brazilian. Yellow card for Edison. Penalty Newcastle. And Pep Guardiola looks frustrated with his goalkeeper. Penalty Newcastle. Anthony Gordon gets him. Edison takes him out. It's a penalty. It's a definite penalty for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon plays the penalty, but that being said. But he's onside because Kyle Walker's playing him onside on the far right-hand side. Poor from Manchester City's captain on the right-hand side, who plays the Newcastle player onside, and Edison comes out and takes out Anthony Gordon. It's a penalty. Gordon knows what he's doing, but it's always going to be a penalty. It's always going to be a penalty. So penalty Newcastle. And Edison might be able to score penalties, but he certainly doesn't save them. So this is 1-1, isn't it? And City again can't keep a clean sheet. Just cannot keep a clean sheet, Manchester City. So penalty Newcastle. And Anthony Gordon is going to take it. Usually Alexander Isak. But here comes Anthony Gordon, who scored his last 4. He scored one last season, did Anthony Gordon, but I'm expecting him to score this one without a doubt. Anthony Gordon steps up for Newcastle. I do not see Edison saving this one. It's Gordon versus Edison. Can just see the top of Haaland's head here in the picture. Gordon. Edison stands strong. He's trying to put him off. Anthony Gordon steps up. He's taking his time. Gordon sends Edison the wrong way. And Newcastle are level. Well, stupid defending from Manchester City. We get caught in behind. Edison comes out, tries to solve it. Kyle Walker playing Gordon onside. Everyone else playing him offside. Newcastle 1. Manchester City 1. Composed penalty from Anthony Gordon. Draws Newcastle level. Good movement from City. I mean, Gordon leaves the legs in. He knew what he was doing. Really good finish from Anthony Gordon from the spot. Will City ever get a clean sheet again? I don't know. And I don't think City have been good enough today, especially in attacking areas. And Newcastle deserved a goal, and they've got themselves one. 1-1. Anthony Gordon from the spot. Level. And Edison frustrated with himself. City's captain Kyle Walker should be frustrated with himself as well for playing the players on side, but I'm sure he'll keep his head down, Kyle Walker, and pretend they had nothing to do with it. And now the atmosphere at St James's Park has lifted another level now. Headed by Fabian Sharp. Away by Joelinton. Walker heads it straight back to Newcastle with a terrible header. And Akanji in there to win it back for City, now to Jack Grealish. Grealish for City. He's being booed by Newcastle fans now. Grealish out to Kovacic. Kovacic shoots and he scuffs it wide. And behind for a goal kick. Really poor from Mateo Kovacic in that area. Well, game on certainly now. How is Pep Guardiola? I'll be looking at Savinho, Phil Foden, someone like that coming on. Because City need it. But City should have been 2 or 3-0 up at half-time. Ilkay Gundogan single-handedly playing against Manchester City. And the chance we had in the second half, he's done that as well. Tonali taken down here. by Kovacic. And he's going to get a yellow card here. Apologises Mateo Kovacic for that one. And he apologises for Tonali. He stretches for the ball. He misses it, Kovacic, and he gets the ankle of Sandro Tonali. That will have hurt. He knew what he was doing, Kovacic there. He apologised. Frustrated with himself, the Croatian. City's number 8. So here comes Phil Foden for Manchester City. He's been sent down the tunnel by Pep Guardiola to get himself ready, I assume. Followed by Newcastle. Header on. Chance for Joelinton! Down the box! Joelinton doesn't appeal for it. Well, Joelinton doesn't appeal for that, interestingly. Vardiol against Murphy's. Give it away. Newcastle are all over City here. Manchester City have lost their heads. Murphy. Tonali. In behind towards... Barnes! And a big save from Edison. Manchester City have lost their heads here. Tonali's pushing Grealish all over the place here on the far side. The ref can't seem to control that. Trippier. Guimaraes. Gordon. Newcastle all over City. Grealish and Tonali pushing and kicking each other. Tonali, ball into the box here. He's overhit it massively. And it's out for a goal kick. But the referee is going to give a yellow card to Grealish and Tonali here, I'm sure. What a chance for Joelinton. Joelinton doesn't appeal for it, I don't think. Yellow card for both of them. Big interception by Walker in the box. Well, Tonali pushes Grealish. Grealish pushes into Tonali. Tonali kicks Grealish. Grealish bangs back into him. Tonali pushes Grealish again. Grealish leaves his leg back in on Tonali. Then he pushes Grealish. Oh my word, those two. Those two having a little of a push and pull match in the corner there, Tonali and Jack Grealish. There's an edge to the game now, isn't there? Especially between Grealish and Tonali. MK says, I wasn't able to comment before for some reason. Well, we're hoping for a City goal, like you said, yeah. And Alex Lister Pro FC is here. Hello, Alex. Was it a foul by Walker? I don't think so. He just gets his body across there. The other one was a penalty, but I don't think that one is. Newcastle in again here. But City deal with it through Joško Vardiol. Edison sends it long. City's heads have gone here. Long ball to Haaland. Dan Burn against Haaland. He's pulling Haaland all over the place. Rico Lewis heads it straight back to Newcastle. Tonali in towards Guimaraes, who flicks it away from Grealish and then lumps it in behind. Guimaraes towards Anthony Gordon. Dealt with by Akanji. And out for a Newcastle throw-in. The atmosphere is rising here at St James's Park. And City are struggling. Trippier, Joelinton. Guimaraes, good tackle by Gundogan. Kovacic. Haaland. Turns here, Haaland. Joelinton pushes him. Free kick Manchester City for a foul by Joelinton. And it's going to be a yellow card for Joelinton. I don't think he's surprised. That's the 7th yellow card of the game here for Joelinton getting that one. Newcastle have got to be careful because any more yellow cards, they could turn into reds, couldn't they, with the second one? Could turn into another one. Pep Guardiola, Juan Malio look pretty frustrating the sidelines here. Long ball into Haaland again, it's over here. And it's headed all the way down to the goalkeeper. Nick Pope, too easy. Manchester City. Manchester City are lacking at the moment. Phil Foden is set to come on for City here today. I assume, I'd say for Ilkay Gundogan, personally. It might be for Erling Haaland, who's lacking. Gordon's in behind again here. And Akanji's strolling back. Far post is Barnes. Walker can't get to him. Harvey Barnes the chance. It's behind for a goal kick. But Kyle Walker there. Barnes is sprinting to the far post. And Walker's just watching him. But Gordon stretching the City defence with really good running. He's run Diaz again. Barnes at the far post. Walker just watches him. Luckily Barnes can't get the end of it. Edison for Manchester City. Rico Lewis is frustrated. Haaland here. Under pressure from Dan Burn. He still gets his foot across there, Haaland, and gets it into Manu Akanji. Wide to Bernardo Silva. Back out to Walker. Diaz. City trying to get themselves back in control this one. Kovacic. Loses out to Tonali. Crap by Kovacic. Terrible by Kovacic. Over to Harvey Barnes here. Gordon. Barnes again. So bad by Kovacic. Tries to run to Gnarly. Fabian Schär. Wide to Trippier. Ball in behind again to Murphy. They're in behind us once again. Across the box. If Newcastle had a striker on the field, they score there. And Walker gives it straight back to Newcastle. Lewis Hall. To the far post. Vardiol just heads it away before Murphy gets there. Grealish takes it down. Grealish past Trippier. It's a free kick, Manchester City. And Newcastle fans complain again for the foul on Grealish. Well, Vardiol with some crucial defending at far post there. Great ball to the far post by Lewis Hall. Vardiol, before it reaches Murphy, gets it away. And substitution for Manchester City, number 19, Ilkay Gundogan comes off, and there's no surprise there. He's probably been the worst player in the pitch for Manchester City. He's been really, really bad today, Gundogan. In the second half, the only thing he has done is destroy one of our attacks. So here comes Phil Foden for Manchester City, who's been City's key player last year alongside Rodri. And we need him today. Certainly do need him today. So free kick Manchester City. Taken by Edison. Again, City play the long ball. And again, Newcastle deal with it. But they head it straight down to Jack Grealish. Grealish for City. Foden. Vardiol. Kovacic. Who is struggling in this game as well, Mateo Kovacic. Vardiol. Akanji. Space for Akanji. Left towards Phil Foden. Akanji again. Ruben Diaz. Walker. We look a little bit out of ideas, City. Bernardo Silva. Walker. Walker forward. It's a bad ball. It's really bad by Walker. I mean, he had a good first 45 minutes, Kyle Walker. But the second 45 have been really bad. Hall to take the throw-in. Down to Joelinton, under pressure from Rico Lewis. He turns him. Tackled by Bernardo. Rico Lewis gets his body in there. Joelinton's in the back of Rico Lewis. No free kicks as the referee. Ruben Diaz watching it out for a throw-in. Well, will City make more changes here today? Perhaps necessary. I think Bernardo Silva for Savinho or Doku. Someone who's got a bit of something down that right side to give Lewis Hall a problem, because Doku and Savinho can do that. And Bernardo Silva certainly hasn't. Kanji, tackled by Guimaraes, throwing for City. Another throw-in to be taken by Kyle Walker. Can City find a way back into this one, really, at 1-1? All level. But we've been the better side, I'd say. We've been the better side, but Newcastle have had good moments as well. Really good moments in this game, without a doubt. So it's hoping that City can find their way back into it. Walker with the throw-in. Come on, City. And without Rodri, City do lack that real player in midfield, don't they? They lack a big option in the midfield. It's a big miss without Rodri in there. So it's lots for City to try and to make up for. I mean, it's a big shoes for Kovacic to fill, isn't it? Big shoes for Mateo Kovacic to fill in this City side. So throwing for City down this far right-hand side. Forward, Joelinton. Foden takes it. Well done, Phil Foden to Bernardo Silva. Tackled by Lewis Hall. Walker back wide to Phil Foden. Back through towards Foden again. A late one from behind by Joelinton, and Foden took his feet and the ball. Referee says no free kick. Followed by Guimaraes. Gordon. Kovacic wins it back. Then he's smashed into Kovacic. Fabian Schär sends it long. And Vardiol back down to Edison. Here's Diaz. City getting a bit more control back on this game again. Good ball into Haaland, Foden, and it's crap by City. Really bad touch by Haaland, who he hasn't had a good game today, I don't think, particularly Haaland. It's been mainly in battling. Gordon, well won back by Diaz. Rico Lewis. Rico taking his time here. Lewis. Kovacic. In towards Akanji. Back to Kovacic again. Walker in space also. City have gone more to a back three now, with Akanji on the left of it, Walker on the right of it, and Diaz at the centre. Kovacic is on his own in that midfield. Kovacic. Diaz. Ruben Diaz brings it forward for City. Diaz. Walker. There's no point working it to Bernardo on this far side because he's not doing anything in it. It's a bad pass by City, but we get away with it. Vardiol slides in to get there ahead of Murphy. Trippier against Grealish. Grealish getting booed here. Grealish past Trippier. Goal kick. Much to the frustration of Jack Grealish, who thought it was a corner. Well, I don't know where this game's going to go, to be honest with you. I don't know where this game's going to go for City. City surely have to get Savinho on, don't they? They surely have to get Savinho on. So, goal kick to be taken by Nick Pope. Shah in towards Trippier. Guimaraes. Ball forward by Bruno's a poor one, but they're still going to get there. Antonio Diaz just gets there ahead of Anthony Gordon. And Manu Akanji back to Edison. City get away with that one. 70 minutes on the clock now, though. The game is ticking away. And a draw might be a good result for City. Here is Ruben Diaz. Look at the space of Vardiol, but we don't go towards him. Kovacic. Kovacic still. Ball in behind to Haaland. It's a great ball. Haaland! Nick Pope takes him out. But he gets the ball. Nick Pope in the process. Well done, Nick Pope. Grealish. Back of him is Trippier. And it's a throw into Newcastle. You can push Grealish all you want. The referee is going to let him get away with that now. Haaland just gets there and he gets smashed into by Nick Pope in the process. Here's Guimaraes. He skips past Foden. Plays a ball forward here. Deflects and Vardiol deals with it. Here's Akanji. City need to get back in this. We need to create something. We need to create something, but at the moment it feels like we're not going to. Bernardo Silva on the right side for Manchester City. He's up against Lewis Hall. Rico Lewis. Kovacic. Kovacic still. Foden. It's a bad pass by Foden. It's behind Akanji. And that crushes the City move a little bit. The swiftness of moving that ball around. Akanji. Kovacic again. Kovacic. Wide right to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo for City. Back into Kovacic once again. Back wide to right to Bernardo again, who's never going to beat his man, Bernardo Silva. And he can only go inside on the left foot, so at the moment it's pointless. Diaz. Foden. Akanji. Here is Jack Grealish against Murphy. Akanji. Crosses one in. Headed away by Joelinton. Haaland takes it down the box onto Foden. Foden with a chance! Right down the middle by Phil Foden. Anywhere but down the middle Foden scores. But no, he hits it right down the middle. Haaland to Foden. Takes a touch. Bang, he hits it right down the middle. Anywhere but down the middle Phil Foden scores. He hits it right down the middle at Nick Pope. Poor. Newcastle playing round City really well here. Fabian Schär long to Murphy. City gave it back again. That's a poor decision by Schär. Newcastle looking poor now. They're looking a little bit rocked. And they're looking a little bit leggy and tired. I think Eddie Howe's got to make saves, make changes, hasn't he? Jack Grealish against Trippier again. Grealish. Kovacic. Foden. Into Vardiol once again. Vardiol again in the box. Vardiol! Into the hands of Nick Pope. It might have gone out. Vardiol did his best there to try and get that back across the box. He's looked our best attacking player. He's looked our best attacking player, Joshua Vardiol, today. That is a worry because he's a centre-back. Here's Guimaraes again. Under pressure from Haaland and picks up in the midfield. Guimaraes. Pushed by Haaland. He's away from him. Kovacic makes a challenge. It's out for a throw-in. And Newcastle can perhaps make their changes. So, Harvey Barnes for Joe Willock. And Sean Longstaff as well looks to be coming on for Newcastle, apparently. Have to see what differences, what changes they make to the game as we approach Not too long in the game left. Long by Fabian Sharp. Header on towards Gordon. Akanji gets there ahead of him, but he's offside anyway, Anthony Gordon. City take it quickly, and here's Kovacic. Kovacic brings it forward for City over the halfway line. Foden in space. Foden past the tackle of Jacob Murphy. Now he's in towards Vardiol. City slow things down again. At the moment, it's Rico Lewis who's playing alongside Erling Haaland up top. I don't think Lewis is a finisher either, is he? Diaz. Switch of play to Grealish. Nice ball, actually. Grealish for City up against Trippier. Grealish. Crosses one in. It's a bad cross. It's cleared away easily. Diaz and Akanji both there. Vardiol loses the header. Akanji takes it down. Kovacic picks it up. Kovacic. Haaland takes a touch here. Haaland opens up his body. Hits a shot. Blocked away by Newcastle. Kovacic. On towards Bernardo Silva. Back out towards Walker. Here's Ruben Diaz. City have got everyone in the Newcastle half here. Diaz onto Grealish. Akanji. Kovacic. City just can't break them down. Foden, Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis passed a few challenges, but ends up on the deck. Couldn't keep his feet. Cleared away by Burn. Only as far as Kovacic. And City have it back again here. They're frustrating Newcastle and the fans. Newcastle can't get out at the moment. But to be honest with you, City aren't doing so much with the ball either. I wouldn't be too worried as a Newcastle fan. Jack Grealish for City. He's got 2 to beat. Goes back to Akanji. Diaz. Jack Grealish is the pass again. Grealish against Trippier once again. Grealish, who created the opening goal. Akanji clips one in. Haaland's waiting. Dan Burn heads away. Foden takes it down the box here. Foden back over to Grealish. Good feet. Grealish fires it across the box here. Haaland with a header. Well, it fired in with some pace from Jack Grealish. Erling Haaland gets his head on it and he heads it straight over the bar. It's a real fired cross by Grealish. It's a difficult one for Haaland. He does get his head there. Lewis Hall is there as well. And he heads it over the bar. Well, double change for Newcastle. Sandro Tonali and also Harvey Barnes are off. And it's Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff on the field. I think Willock will come on that left-hand side for Newcastle. He's actually been quite a decent player. Newcastle have got 2 players down. Tonali's got cramp. He's coming off, but he's on the floor. And Kieran Trippier is also on the floor with cramp here. So 2 physios on for Newcastle. And that will waste a bit of time for Newcastle if they're looking for a draw here today. But I know the Newcastle fans will be wanting a win. They'll be wanting a win here. So they might have to make another substitution for Kieran Trippier. They might have to. City are crying. This game's crying out for Savinho or someone like that. So Tonali off, Longstaff on. And it looks like Kieran Trippier could be coming on off as well. Yeah, Tino Livramento comes on for the injured Kieran Trippier. He's got cramp anyway, he's down. And they decide to make that change. So a triple change for Newcastle in the end. So triple change for Newcastle. 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes remain in the game, plus added time. And it's looking like a draw at St James's Park for this Manchester City side. And probably a fair result. City haven't done enough really to win this at the moment. I wouldn't say we've done enough to win it. Limping off is Sandro Tonali. With the cramp, as well as Kieran Trippier. 2 players with cramp. So, what will City do? Does Pep Guardiola bring Savinho on? I don't know. At the moment, it feels that it's a little bit flat, the game, with these changes, which are taking quite a while. But I think Pep's got to bring Savinho on that right-hand side, personally. I don't think he will, but he should do. Oh, Foden picks this one up. Foden for City. Off to Grealish. Keeps it well, Grealish, but he's slowing the game down. Come on, let's get forward, City. Grealish back towards Vardiol. Kovacic. Kovacic into towards Ruben Diaz. We've got no one off the bench who's a goal scorer particularly either. Bernardo Silva. Walker. The stink lack of goals in this City side. It feels like. Walker. Bernardo Silva. Back to Walker again. And back to Edison. City forced all the way back to the goalkeeper by a very good Newcastle press. Edison to Kovacic. City nearly play himself into all sorts of problems there. Through the back of Vardiol comes Livramento. It's a free kick for City, but a bit of an injury here for Joško Vardiol, who stood under the process there by Tino Livramento. And it looks like he's got a problem here, Vardiol, as he limps away. Livramento came to the back of him and stood on his ankle, stood on his knee on the way through. Akanji back to Diaz. Joe Willock will bring energy on that left-hand side for Newcastle, certainly. Edison. Akanji. Walker. City look absolutely devoid of ideas here. Back to Edison they go again. A big long ball once again to Haaland, which hasn't worked all game, and it still doesn't work. Dan Burn heads it down to Lewis Hall. What a waste from Manchester City. In the middle to Joe Linton. Back towards Fabian Schär. Switching right foot forward, pass towards Livramento, which is headed down by Vardiol straight towards Willock. Back into Livramento. Kovacic with a foot in's not enough. Guimaraes. Chance here for Newcastle again. Murphy pulls it back to John Longstaff! Oh! What a chance that was for Newcastle. They pull it back to the edge of the box, and they're waiting. It's Sean Longstaff. In acres of space, no one marking him. Rico Lewis just too tired, it seems. Couldn't be bothered. Longstaff drags the shot wide towards that far corner, but Newcastle should have taken a 2-1 lead there. Well, double substitution for Manchester City. Rico Lewis is off for Savinho. And Jack Grealish comes off for Jeremy Doku. Pep Guardiola is bringing on the exciting wingers. It's a risk defensively for City. But offensively, they hope to bring a bit of the X factor to this game. Doku and Savinho, 10 minutes of running at very tired Newcastle legs. Goal kick Manchester City. City take the time. City continue to take the time here. City are absolutely clueless. We don't know what to do on goal kicks or anything. And now they decide to send it long, City, after deciding to send it short. Edison to take this for City. Lumps it long as Edison. Haaland bundled into by Joelinton. Easily dealt with. Kovacic loses out the header to Guimaraes. Willock against Bernardo Silva. Here's Bruno Guimaraes. Good feet from him. Skips past Kovacic. Back he goes to Lewis Hall. Great ball into Anthony Gordon, who goes past Diaz Gordon. What wonderful skill from Anthony Gordon. And pokes one through to Willock and Akanji. Back to the keeper, Edison, who's under pressure. Has to lump it away quickly. And back down to Newcastle. Joelinton. And his pocket picked by Bernardo Silva. Chance of Manchester City. Bernardo. Under pressure. Bernardo through to Haaland. It's a bad pass. And Haaland's going to bring it back towards Doku. He miscontrols it, Doku. Vardiol, City, Haaland looks like he's knackered. We can't come off, we've got no one to substitute him for. Savinho on this right hand side. Back out to Walker, do not cross it. Walker crosses to the far post. Haaland is there! Dealt with by Newcastle, lumped away by Longstaff, only as far as Savinho. Savinho keeps it, great skill, Savinho. Through to Bernardo. Looks to cross it, dealt with by Lewis Hall. Bernardo wins it back, and he gives a free kick Newcastle's way. It's never a foul by Bernardo Silva. Never ever a foul by Bernardo. But Gerard Gillett gives it anyway. And it's a free kick Newcastle in their own half. But Savinho needs to make a difference for City here off the bench. So does Jeremy Doku. So free kick for Newcastle to be taken by Nick Pope. Nowhere near where the free kick was given. Long by Nick Pope. Diaz wins the header. Straight back to Newcastle. Joe Willock tries to run Kyle Walker. Doesn't get the better of Walker as well there. And Walker passes it back to Edison. A lot of pressure here, City. Edison under pressure from Gordon. Somehow City get away with that. Doku. Doku for City. Against Livramento and Murphy. Doku still going here. Fabian Schär tries to be too skillful with it. Foden wins it back. It's silly from Schär. Doku through to Foden. Up against Bruno Guimaraes. He's got his hands all over Phil Foden. He's got hold the shirt. And it's going to be a free kick City. I don't know how Guimaraes can complain about that. He's got a full hand on the back of Bernardo Silva's shirt there, Bruno Guimaraes. He's got a full grip of Phil Foden's shirt. It's stupid from Guimaraes, and you can't complain. He should not be doing that, Bruno Guimaraes. Decision making, you can't complain at all. He's got his arm on the shirt of Phil Foden. He's just pulling him down. I don't know why he does that. He doesn't need to. So, free kick for City. Can City do anything from it? Can City score from this? Crossing by Foden to the far post. Bernardo Silva picks it up. Bernardo. Savinho's waiting. Bernardo could cross it. Bernardo's cross it. Kovacic on the rebound. And as Mateo Kovacic tends to do, he scuffs his shot wide. Poor from Kovacic. And poor from Bernardo Silva as well. It's Savinho waiting. I don't think Bernardo's had a... No City attacker has had a particularly good game, to be honest with you. No City attacker has had a good game at all. Long ball by Newcastle. Guimaraes takes it down. Bernardo gets it back into Savinho. Savinho skips past one. Savinho. Joelinton through the back of Savinho. Well, lent on Savinho. Referee says no foul. Savinho has got back to his feet. Very physical by Joelinton. Joelinton using his body well against Bernardo Silva. On to Fabian Schär. Wide to Livramento. Skips past Doku. Back inside here. Livramento. Longstaff. Well, it's looking like a draw, this. Can either side nick it at St James's Park? Long ball forward by Newcastle. Walker against Willock. Willock heads it and it's out for a throw-in for Manchester City deep in their own half. Well, Joelinton's gone down. It looks like he's wanting to come off now with an injury. Done a lot of running, covered a lot of ground as he does, Joelinton. A real hard worker. A real hard worker. I think is he coming off Joelinton here? Well, he's back on his feet now, Joelinton. He wants to play on, I think. And now Kyle Walker's being told to go back. Walker takes his time here. Throwing to Akanji, back to captain Kyle Walker, who just lumps it long. There's a big switch towards Doku, and he gives it away to Newcastle Walker. Really bad pass decision making from an experienced player. And City are in trouble here because Newcastle are in behind. It's Murphy. Into Guimaraes, good interception by Akanji, and Bernardo Silva picks it up. Bernardo brings it away. Bernardo. Little trip on Bernardo Silva. Bernardo had no one to pass to. I think he's frustrated with his teammates as well there. Bernardo, who can I pass to? Bernardo Silva for City. Well, City have got Mateus Nunes on the bench. And that's about it. John Stones perhaps could come on. But there's no one to make a change for City, really, is there? Doku. Against Livramento. Doku. Past Livramento with the speed there, Doku. Slows down, speeds up, Doku. Back out to Kovacic. Mateo Kovacic for City. Bernardo Silva. Goes back left with Akanji. Akanji into Foden. Dealt with by Newcastle. Manu Akanji back in his possession and back to Diaz. Come on, City. Can we create something before the end of this game? Can we find that winner? Vardiol. Akanji. Back to Walker. Walker takes his time. Space for Doku in that far left. Walker. Akanji. Wide to Doku. Against Livramento. Doku. Livramento just takes it off him. Sticks a foot out really easy by Livramento. Doku. In towards Vardiol. Holds it up well. Vardiol flattened by Longstaff. Referee says no foul. They play on Murphy. Nutmegs Manu Akanji. Brilliant from Jacob Murphy. Murphy brings it forward for Newcastle. Kovacic chasing. Joelinton. And Savinho is there to intercept it. Well done, Savinho. Edison kicks it away. Straight back to Newcastle. Lewis Hall chased by Savinho. Come on, City. Press. Don't you want to win this game? Fabian Schär. Livramento. Savinho chasing. Long by Newcastle. Offside all the Newcastle players and Vardiol can take it down. Nick Pope there, met with groans and frustration from the Newcastle fans. Manny Akanji over the centre circle for City. Bernardo Silva. Flicks it into Manny Akanji. 7 added minutes here at St James's Park apparently coming. Doku, past Livramento. Doku, pushed by Livramento. No free kicks to the referee. Longstaff gives it away to Vardiol. Really cheap by Longstaff. Vardiol in behind to Foden. Foden pulls it across the box to Haaland, who's not there. Foden goes and wins it back again, back out to Vardiol. Bernardo on the edge of the box. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. Walker. Do not shoot. On to Savinho. Bad pass to Walker by Savinho. Really bad ball by the Brazilian. And Newcastle can counter here. And Ruben Diaz slides in on Gordon. It's a bad challenge. It's a yellow card for Ruben Diaz for a tackle on Anthony Gordon there. He had to make the challenge. He does do. Slides in on Anthony Gordon. Takes him out. Tries to win the ball. He did try and win the ball, Diaz, but he knew that if he didn't win the ball, he had to take the man down. And he does do. And it's a free kick Newcastle here. Well, 90 minutes are played here. 90 minutes on the clock at St James's Park. And confirmed. There'll be 7 added minutes here. 7 added minutes at St James's Park. Can a side find the winner? Can Newcastle or City find a winner? Lewis Hall to take the free kick for Newcastle. Everyone in that City half here for Newcastle. Long and forward. Newcastle win the header. Ederson should come for it. He doesn't do. Vardiol has to clear it into Dan Burn. What is Ederson doing? Why hasn't he come out for that? Throwing for City though in the end. Vardiol to take it. Akanji lumps it away. Fabian Schär heads it down. Kovacic in there to try and win the header. He does do. Joelinton takes it on the chest. Here's Jeremy Doku for Manchester City down the left-hand side. Doku, the crossing. Foden's in there. Just over Phil Foden. And back out. Back out to Jeremy Doku. Kovacic. Walker. Wide right to Savinho. Got 2 to beat. Walker. Savinho once again. Savinho. Into Foden. Flicks into Bernardo. Bernardo Silva! What a strike! What a save by Nick Pope. Wow. What a chance. Good play by Savinho. Bernardo takes it on the chest before he's even turning. He hits it first time on the volley. Down the middle, really. Nick Pope with a wonderful reaction save with the right hand. Side volley from Bernardo Silva is saved brilliantly by Nick Pope. Call him to action. And he answered with a brilliant save, the Newcastle goalkeeper. Corner City, crossed in by Foden. Crap corner. Falls to Diaz anyway. Guimaraes can't clear it. Newcastle head it away. As far as Doku. Anthony Gordon beats Doku to it. Anthony Gordon goes down. The referee tells Gordon to get up there. Foden. Jeremy Doku. Doku for City. And he goes and makes the challenge. It's a goal kick. I don't know what Doku's doing, but he's not doing any good for City. Not doing City any favours, how he's playing. It's going to be 1-1, I think. City don't look like they're going to nick this. We'll have to see. Perhaps Newcastle nick it. Eddie Howe's telling these Newcastle players to come on. Use your heads. He's motivating them. Of course, last year it was a late goal after Kevin De Bruyne made his return and saved City. Got no De Bruyne to save us today. We've got no Oscar Bob to save us either. William Asula looks to be the man to come on for Newcastle. Joelinton, good touch. Guimaraes. Guimaraes puts it out of play. I'm not exactly sure what for. But the game is stopped. And Haaland's telling get the game going. What is going on here, ref? Newcastle pass it back to the keeper. I have no idea. Haaland's saying, come on, get the game going, referee. And the referee's taking an age to sort it out. Diaz beats Gordon. Joelinton gets his body in front of Bernardo. Bernardo's battling to his Savinho. Manchester City's throwing. Bernardo leaves it to Walker. Kyle Walker clueless on the throw-in. No one to go for. Long to Haaland. In a physical battle with Dan Burn. He's got hold of Erling Haaland. There's nothing Haaland can do because they just have all over him. Here's Walker. Bernardo. Back to Akanji. Come on, City. Bit of fight in these last few minutes. Wide to Jeremy Doku. Can he beat Livramento? Doku. Vardiol. Diaz. Miscontrols the ball. Diaz into Foden on the turn here. Foden. Good play by Foden. Foden to Bernardo. Dealt with Kovacic. Don't shoot. Wide to Savinho. Can he create something here, Savinho? Right-footed crossing by Savinho. Haaland is there! And his header's right down the middle. Just couldn't get the power on it. He's frustrated with himself, Haaland. Balling by Savinho as well. Haaland gets there. It's a glancing header. It's difficult to get the power on it. Really good chance, but unlucky for Erling Haaland. He just couldn't get the power on that cross. Long ball by Newcastle. 2 minutes remaining in this one. All the way through to Diaz. Diaz back to Ederson. Anthony Gordon's gone down here. City play it long. Kovacic. Kovacic for City. In towards Ruben Diaz. Manchester City play on. Walker. Bernardo Silva. Bad pass. Diaz. Kanji back to Bernardo. Late one by Guimaraes and Bernardo Silva. Referee plays advantage. Mateo Kovacic for City. We're not going to score. City aren't going to score here. It's not happening. Akanji. Diaz. I'd like to be wrong. Diaz. Bernardo. There's two over here. Come on. Make it count. We go back into the middle. Savinho. Against Lewis Hall. Savinho. Again, a right-footed cross. He wins a corner, the Brazilian. Well done, Savinho. At least he's done something. Corner ball. Savinho to take it. Left-footed in-swinger here. Big men in the box for City, but it's looking like a draw. Crossing by Savinho. In there is Haaland. Newcastle get it away. Kovacic picks it up. Back in towards Foden, who lifts it to the far post here. Nick Pope picks it up. And that will be, I think, full time at St James's Park. Fabian Schär's down injured now. So City will have to wait for him to get back to his feet. I'm sure he's fine. He'll waste out the last few minutes or so. A draw is probably a fair result, really. Manchester City have looked nowhere near the level they should be. And that is why they've dropped points here today. And Newcastle will be happy with the point after a loss at Fulham last week, 3-1. Final whistle goes. Manchester City 1. Newcastle United 1. And with that result for City, which does keep them, I think, for the moment, City stay top of the Premier League table, perhaps. Things could change today. Because a win for Arsenal will take Arsenal top of that Premier League table, I do believe. So full time, City 1, Newcastle 1. Thanks for joining us. It wasn't the most exciting second half. City were pretty poor, nowhere near at it. And they didn't deserve the 3 points. We'll see you guys next time.